It's currently Epiphany on the church calendar. Why is Epiphany considered the apologist Sunday of the year? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt, and this is Talks with Dad Rod, and I am here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt. And this is kind of low and slow over the plate for you, being the apologist and so forth. This one you've always highlighted as this used to be taught back when apologetics was taught as a key, the key.
Yep.
Sunday of the year.
Of the whole church year. And since in most seminaries, apologetics isn't even taught anymore, which should be an embarrassment to every Orthodox church. But since it's not taught anymore, our guys do what they can with it, but with no apologetics background, it doesn't dawn on them, because they were never taught, that this is a unique Sunday. The pericope text usually includes Jesus turning water into wine at Cana. And the contrast is, for a long time he's been saying, don't tell anybody what you heard. Don't speak this outwardly. And all of a sudden that switches and he goes public. Interesting that his first miracle is to turn 30 gallons of water into 30 gallons of really great wine. I always thought that was distinctly for the evangelicals.
For a wedding party where all the wine had already been drunk.
Right. They'd run out.
Which, it's not like they low-stocked it.
Mother comes to him and says, can you do something? Yes, Mother.
It's not my time.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with me?
Right. So this is where it's the introduction of going public with that kind of a miracle. The early church always argued that the truth of the gospel was based on first fulfilled prophecy, particularly messianic prophecy, and on miracle. And the second of those is what's introduced in Epiphany Sunday. That is, I'm going to do things publicly now that are going to manifest or be a sign of or point you to who I am. So that's why I've dubbed it the Apologist Sunday.
So what occurs on Epiphany itself that launches that? Because that's not actually... Epiphany is, if you can remind me if I'm misremembering.
Well, it has to do with manifesting or outwardly or seeable or that sort of verb. And he's going to do more and more of this as time goes on. But that's the first one where it's public.
And then the disciples are now free to speak, and they've been told to shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yep. For all that time.
And all the things that they've witnessed. Now, obviously, that was telling people what not, to not do something is not a recipe to get them to behave.
Right.
I always thought that was a bit of a comedy. Jesus going around and saying, don't do that. I'm like, I mean, I have kids. I know exactly what happens when you tell kids not to do something.
Sure.
Every single time. You would always tease, you would always comment about me going, Romans in action.
Yeah.
As soon as I was told not to do something, I was doing it.
Yeah. Paul argues that in Romans. I would not have known coveting until the commandment said, thou shalt not covet. And it almost creates the passion for it by saying no to it.
Yeah, Ted, don't touch that. Stay out of that.
Yep.
And the first thing I'm doing is going, ooh.
Yeah. Exactly.
That looks much more interesting to me.
I wish that in our church that guys had been trained in apologetics, even a basic course. We don't even have a basic course in it.
If you had to take it and strip it down to a course heading, what would you put as the course heading if you were writing up something like that to actually teach something like that?
Well, it'd be titled Christian Apologetics.
But then what would you be, what would, like, if you were talking about some basic bullet points on what would be covered in the class? I'm trying to give people a sense of...
Those aspects we find in the scriptures that have to do with how do I know this is true, or subpar, or underneath that. All religions make claims like that. What makes Christianity different? I want to not believe something that's false, but how do I adjudicate? And the common in our century is you can't, because all of religion is subjective. Find one you like, one that pleases you.
An earthly one. What if you're doing a self-help type of thing?
Yeah, it's wide open in
really
our day.
It's improved my life.
If you go into the religion section in a bookstore, that's where you find Christian books, is in the self-help section. And we've done a lot to have earned that. It's going on every Sunday in Protestant churches all over America.
Rather than, here's how you know this is true and that
Right.
your salvation is secured in the gift of the faith you've been given.
Right. This one happens to be true and can be shown to be true.
Because it is an actual historic event in human history.
Right. And it just clears the table of religions that are talking about subjective experience as knowing. It just clears the decks.
Now, I've noticed, and I know we've talked about this before, I've noticed that in some courses in some colleges, that some of the teachers like to make it sound like, well, these other religions have gods that have made similar claims or who have sacrificed for people also.
Oh, yeah. You can thank the 19th century German liberals for that. Thank you very much.
Where there's certain that there are other ones that are making similar claims to Christianity, where a god becomes man and sacrifices to save his people.
It's called comparative religion. Don't take religion courses if you go to college. Take chemistry and physics and math.
They're more likely to make a believer out of you than going to the... All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it. It's great to see you all, and thank you for being patient with us. As in my case, I've been going through this illness. Dad, thankfully, has been spared, and hopefully we can maintain that. But I know we're all going through a lot of this. I'm hearing more and more stories. But it's great to be back. Good to see you all. And it'll be great to talk to you again on social media. Come to 1517.org for more. And social media. Talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.